Defence Force. South African National Defence Force has not deployed to KZN, and South African National Defence Force, that is not the responsibility of the South African National Defence Force. There is no war here. Until such time there's adequate mobilization of the police, and the police engage with the people and of course enforce the law with the people who are responsible for these acts, that's enough. I do not think we've reached a point in the country where the South African National Defence Force should be dragged into what is happening in KwaZulu-Natal.
When the unrest erupted, the Defence Minister didn't see the need for troop deployment. But as the wave of riots spilled to more locations in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, soldiers were on the ground in the following 2 days.
We are therefore mobilizing all available resources and capabilities to restore order in our country. As the Commander-in-Chief of the South African Defence Force and our security forces, I have today authorized the deployment of the Defence Force personnel in support of the operations of the South African Police Service.
While government tried to assess the situation in an attempt to quell public discontent, some label this, including the President, as insurrection.
Worst of all, these instigators have sought to manipulate the poor and vulnerable for their own benefit. Yet, despite the widespread destruction, this attempted insurrection has failed. It has failed to gain popular support amongst our people. It has failed because of the efforts of our security forces, and it has failed because South Africans have rejected it and have stood up in defense of our hard-won democracy.
Abantu who are real behind this anarchy, they are using the conditions, the poor conditions of people who are unemployed, particularly the youth engaziona. Kunabantu esibaphenyayo esibaziyo ukuthi bayayiplana yonke lento. Bakhona abantu abahlezi phansi ngeke sibabone.
But some in the cabinet dismissed the notion.
We've also had people making reference to insurrection, coup, and the issue is, if it's an insurrection, then the insurrection must have a face. If it's an insurrection against government. If it is about a coup, the coup will also have a face. But none of those so far talk to that. Our view is that we probably are seeing signs of a counter-revolution, which is creeping in the form of criminality and thuggery, and of course it's a very unfortunate situation.
The contradictions are glaring, prompting obvious questions on how could government be divided over such a critical matter. This analyst believes it shows how ill-skilled government is on matters of security.
ANC in 1994 was handed over a phantom state. That phantom state was devoid of crucial elements of any normal state. Security, defense, as well as policing of community was transferred or was taken over by the former apartheid leaders and the business. Hence, we can see now that the private security and those so-called risk management, of which are mercenaries, are the ones who are operating inside and outside the country.
Dubis says the recent racial tensions should also be of concern to government.
People in South Africa who are not armed are the South African natives. We have seen Indians, they are well armed. We have seen white people, they are well armed, but the South African natives are not armed. And that must be an indication to the South African government that at any time the coup might not come from the natives, but the coup might come from the other race. And so, who is going to protect the South African natives if the South African government is failing to protect the majority of this country?
With continuous contradicting statements from the same government, how should the nation take its leaders into confidence? Namapolani, SABC News.